Hello and welcome to part 3 of upgrading my first gen Toyota Tacoma into a really practical daily driver while still maintaining some awesome functionality for off-roading to get to all my beautiful camping sites out in the wilderness. So we're keeping it fairly stock and fairly OEM. If you've seen part 1 of the full walk around of the truck and all the upgrades I plan to do, be sure to check that out if you haven't already. In part 2, we installed the rear bumper, which turned out really well. So today, it's time to tackle the front bumper. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so removing the front bumper here on these first gen Tacomas, all you should need is a 14mm socket and a Phillips head screwdriver. So if we get up in here underneath the truck, you'll see that on both sides, well, this is the same for the driver's side and passenger side, there are 2 of these 14mm bolt heads, as well as a Phillips head screw right on the bottom here. So that's all you'll need to get to pretty close and easily in range. We'll also have to unhook the blinker bulbs by just turning it counterclockwise. Pulls the bulb right out. So let me remove all of that, and then the rest of the bumper should just kind of snap out. It's held in with some rivets along the top. As far as I know anyway. I'll let you know if I find any other mystery screws or anything. Alright, so I got everything out, the 2 14mm bolts as well as the 2 little Phillips head. These are plastic compression screws, so do be careful when taking them out, not to strip them and everything. I kind of used a little flathead screwdriver to pry down on them with a little bit of force. They came right out. But there are 2 more little nuts hidden behind these pieces. There's a hole in here to access it with a socket. They're super tiny, but we do need to let those loose, and then the whole bumper should just drop. It's getting pretty loose now. All right, so our 2 little 12mm nuts have been removed, so we should be good to go to just drop this rear bumper right off. It looks like that side's already down, and this side should come out fairly easily. It looks like it's a little wedged up in there. And there we are. There's the old front bumper. Now the new one will basically mount into these side pieces on the frame. That's what it looks like anyway. So we'll go ahead and pull out the new front bumper, and hopefully it'll go on nice and easy. Everything looks to be in good condition up here though. No frame bending. Everything is definitely really nice. So I'm hoping everything lines up well. So this is the front bumper we're going with. Super slim and sleek. As I explained in part 1, I'm not going for a bumper with a winch in it. We're trying to save weight to make this a super practical everyday driver as well. But it's nice and robust. These bumpers are just under 3/16 inch thick steel, so pretty durable but not too heavy. So it should be nice and strong for us. Again, I love the workmanship. I will leave a link down in the description for where I got these bumpers. They're handmade in Utah. This video is not sponsored, but so far I'm very pleased. I am incredibly impressed with the quality. So there's going to be a big light bar going up front there. I asked him to drill 2 little holes since a front mounted license plate is required in my state. It may not be for you, and it does not come stock with these 2 holes. They also have many other options for license plate mounts underneath and pretty much anything you could ask for. So they're super awesome about that. They're powder coated, super durable, and there'll be 3 little LEDs here for each blinker and 2 3-inch pod lights as well. So this has 2 little brackets on the sides. These should screw in here and here. I'm a little skeptical about the strength. I would have thought maybe, I mean, I don't really see any other mounts though on my Tacoma, so that's pretty much the only place that it's possible for them to mount is on the side there, unless there's like a through bolt going through here. So hopefully they go on well. Hopefully it's sturdy enough. I always underestimate frame steel as well. The steel they use for vehicle frames is a lot stronger and heftier than any generic steel, so this should hold it no problem with 2 bolts into there. So it's got some sliders on here for a little bit of minor adjustment. So I'll get my brother out here to help me hold it, and it should go on a lot easier than the rear bumper, hopefully, if everything's lined up. right, here it is all mounted up. Looks absolutely amazing compared to the old one. That is super sweet. I'm definitely very, very happy with it. So I've temporarily just tied the blinker bulbs into these 3-inch pods with some zip ties. I'll eventually wire everything up officially. These 3 holes are where the blinkers are officially going to go, and it came with some LEDs for those, and then I'm going to go with 3-inch pods for those ones. But yeah, once those lights are in, this is going to look really, really awesome. It definitely has a little bit larger of a gap than the stock bumper in between here. I can just barely fit my finger, but definitely nothing too bad, and I tried to make sure it was even all the way around. I'm all the way up the top of the sliders at the bottom in there, so it can't really go any higher. I could always do a little bit of modding and whatever to scrape it out and make it fit a little bit better, but for now, it definitely looks fantastic. Definitely sticks out a little bit farther than I was maybe expecting from a side profile, considering it doesn't have a winch inside of it. But then I looked down in and see that my frame rails actually stick out in there pretty far, so it does have to be able to clear those. So without cutting and modding, it's definitely a nice solution. Went on super, super easily. I'm definitely pretty happy with it. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in part 4, where I will most likely be installing and wiring up all of our lights. So I look forward to that episode, and until next time, cheers.